I don't have as much income from my assets as I would like, so I'm not gonna cross that threshold just yet.
Well, yeah, but you'd argue that you're still in wealth build, right? Like you
Yeah,
have a decision to make. It's either
that's what I'm
appreciation
saying.
or wealth build, or it's cash flow, right?
Exactly.
Or maybe a hybrid. But usually at our age, you're trying to double. It's like double my money, double my money, double my money.
Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't mind the cash flow part to start kicking in a little stronger. I think I have enough investments that are wealth building right now that probably my next focus on stuff will be cash flowing, more cash flow focused investments.
So, dude, you're talking about hanging out with the kids, and like, what do they ever ask you about this stuff? They ever ask you about business or
No,
investing?
not
or-
often. Only the dudes who are a little older. I would say like the dudes like Carlos Ribeiro. He's like 31, 32. He's interested in business. Him and I talk a little bit
Right.
like that. But for the most part, the other dudes are just like
Here to skate.
just want to say, and which is great. Which is what you should be focused on at the younger age. That's exactly what we were focused on those early ages. Just you got to keep it pure and keep it focused. You don't want too much shit on your mind when you're still trying to make it in skating.
Do you
Right.
get phone calls
Yeah.
from the young skaters?
Yeah. Well, no, not young. Like it's what Paul said. There's an
Once
age
you hit
in
30,
which
something
they start
goes
hitting
on.
me up. Yeah.
Once you hit
Yeah.
30 and you realize, like, shoot, I got to make something of my life, like financially. Because anything before 30, actually anything probably before like 27, it's still very like as long as I'm cool and fit in, to me that's more valuable than setting myself up financially, which isn't wrong. I mean, there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong to this shit. So like, I just live my life. I just do what I feel is right. I've always done that, and at this point, I just feel like as long as I'm myself, I can go to bed at night. As long as I'm not hurting nobody, stealing from nobody, cheating nobody, none of those type of things, I'm fine with what the decisions I'm making. I have thick skin. I could deal with getting made fun of. I could deal with criticism, but fortunately, thank God, for whatever reason, still to this point, I see a lot more love than I see hate. So.
Yeah, I think it's because of that
I'm
statement
okay
you
with
just
that.
made. Everybody loves you. The age thing is probably the youngest call I've got from a skater, like trying to figure this out, was 24. That was young. Usually it's exactly that. It's like a skater starts getting towards the end of the career. You start worrying about, like, is this the last contract? And then they're like, what do I do?
Yeah, but did you even think about it until after you lost your sponsors and started St. Archer?
Well, no, losing my sponsors came after St. Archer. For me, it was really it was my parents. Like,
Yeah, you were
when I told
lucky
my
with
parents
that
I
one.
wasn't going to college, the ceiling blew off. Like, they were so frightened by that, and in that, like, there was so much pressure on me. Like, you're blowing it. Like, they did not want me to go down the skater path because they didn't want me to not go to college. And when I basically was like, look, this is what I'm going to do, they were really adamant on me getting financial help. Like, this is the only way we'll feel comfortable with this. And so I started getting help when I was 19.
With
And
Randy
so,
and them, right?
Yeah.
That's
And so,
awesome.
look, was I super into investing the way I am today? No. Did I understand the importance of it? I don't know if I understood the importance of it at 19, but I did feel like I was taking a huge risk, that I was jeopardizing my future by not going to college. And that fear element, I think, put me in a position of, like, with Randy, what do I need to do? I will listen. Like, is this how much you want me to spend? I'll listen. You want me to put this into retirements? I'll listen. You want me to put this in the real estate? I'll listen. And so my whole thing was just tell me and I will execute. And then as I started getting older, I started getting really into it. But I can't tell you I was, like, hyped up. It was just my parents were like, you got to do this. I was like, okay, And then it's like, I guess the tough part I have is I'm totally with you. Like, when you're young, like, you're just skating, right? But I've also seen the benefits of what happens when you do start young, right? Like, thinking about, like, getting
the
to the end
compounding and all that.
Bro, it's crazy. It's like, even if you're just picking off these, like, let's just use a 15% return each year, right? 15% IR, you're doubling your money every 5. So it's like, okay, double. Then it's just like, okay, if I started at 18, now 30, I'm in a pretty decent spot.
Think of the example of the penny per day for a month?
A month, yeah.
Versus the $10 million
Penny that
up front.
doubles
Which
every
one
day.
do you take?
Yeah, no, 100%.
That compounding thing is legit.
It's legit. And I think what I didn't totally understand when I was young is the difference between making money and building wealth, right? Really, at the end of the day, I was focused on making money. Like income was the thing that I was feeling.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, how do I make more money? How do I make
Yeah.
more money? But they're not the same.
No.
Right? They're not even
No.
close to the
No.
same. And so thankfully, I had somebody that was like just forcing me, like, okay, you're going to put your money into here. This is going to be the wealth build. Wasn't seeing it, wasn't feeling it. But when I retire, I absolutely felt it.
That's so interesting.
You know?
I have this conversation almost every day with somebody now where their whole mindset is, what will the investment generate for me today? And the conversation ultimately goes to like, what is it exactly that you need the money today for? And they don't, right? They're young, they're working, they don't need the money today. They just have this misconception that earning money on an investment today is how I build wealth. And the reality is there are investments where you're not going to see anything for a while. And that's the thing that gets you financially fully independent.
That's right. You got
Yeah.
2 times you get paid
Yeah.
on the front end or the back end. That's how it is, right?
I'm trying to do both.
Yeah, look, that
There is
happens.
that point of inflection
Yeah.
though at your age where it's like you start moving from the long-term wealth build to I want to start getting cash flow, and then ultimately it's almost all cash flow and no appreciation. But when you're young, delaying the gratification can have a monumental impact later
100%.
down in life.
Right. And
I
you know
wish I
what, too?
understood
Like,
that a lot younger as well.
I totally get why you want cash flow now, right? Like, towards the end of my career, internally, I started feeling that as well. Like, when my sponsors go away, like, where's the income coming from, right? What happened to me, and I'm expecting that to happen to you actually, when you ultimately make the decision to go into the next thing, and then you start making money doing that, you get past this fear of like, dude, when skating ends, the income ends, right?
Well, that's not my fear. It's not my fear. I do believe I'll be able to earn income for a long time coming. If I'm just being blatantly honest, I want to ball now too. I want to ball later then. I want to ball later too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to only ball when I'm in my 60s. I want to ball out, man.
Right.
Straight up. I mean, really,
Right.
without having to think about it, without having to be on a budget. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't. That urge isn't so strong that I'm willing to sacrifice later for now.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're trying to find the right balance
I
for it.
restrainedly ball now. But I mean, if I'm just being plain honest, I want to ball till I fall.
Look, I see him ball, and I saw him at the UFC fight. I see the guy; he's living well.
Well, that was
Good.
free. That was comped.
That's even better.
Yeah,
That's even better.
that was comped. I didn't.
How much does the Bentley weigh? It's a Bentley.
Are you looking for
well,
a 6,000-pound deduction?
For sure,
just
the
listening to him
Cullinan
talk.
for sure. The
Like,
Cullinan's for sure.
That's the
tax.
XUV one.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
listening
sure
to him
one of the
talk,
big
like, I don't
Bentleys
know
is
if
that.
you need to wait to ball in some regard, right? Like,
Yeah.
Let's just throw this thing out. How much is the car? 300.
I know the path.
The
he's
one that
going
I
down.
want,
You
the
know how it is.
This is
newest,
not a productive path.
the
This
newest
could be.
flying
Hang on,
spur,
this
the
could be.
newest flying
How much?
spur. I don't know, maybe 250, 300, yeah.
300 grand, right? Okay. If it weighs over 6,000 pounds, right?
Big
How much
tax
can you
write-off.
accelerate the depreciation right now? 80%?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you put, I don't know, what would you put down? Something like that. 60 G's?
I don't know.
Put 60 G's down. You finance the 220, right? What would you say it was? 280, 250?
It's like 250, 300.
Finance the remainder, right? You depreciate the 80%. So now you're deducting what? 230 G's of taxes this year, right? So you're going to spend 60 out of your pocket, wipe out almost 2 and change of taxes. Why not do that? If you like this clip, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch the entire hour-long interview, the link will be in the description. And make sure you're following the Life with Mikey podcast on Spotify and Apple.